The memes struck back. In the year 2045, as Earth's major cities crumbled under the onslaught of the Cation invasion, humanity faced extinction. The feline-like aliens, with their advanced technology and superior firepower, had decimated global defenses. Smoke billowed from the ruins of once proud metropolises, and the screams of the dying echoed through streets littered with debris and alien war machines. The United Nations convened an emergency session in a fortified bunker beneath the Swiss Alps. World leaders, their faces gaunt with exhaustion and despair, gathered to discuss humanity's dwindling options. Military strategists presented grim reports of failed counterattacks and dwindling resources. As hope faded, an unlikely voice spoke up. Jesse Morales, a 28-year-old cybersecurity specialist with disheveled hair and coffee-stained clothes, stood before the assembly. His eyes, bloodshot from sleepless nights, gleamed with a desperate idea. "We weaponize our memes," he declared, his voice steady despite the absurdity of his proposal. Silence fell over the room, followed by murmurs of disbelief and derision. Yet, as Jesse explained his plan, a glimmer of possibility emerged. Intelligence reports had revealed a critical weakness in Cation neural implants. They lacked robust firewalls against information overload. Jesse proposed Operation Meme Warfare, a covert mission to develop a meme-based cyber attack that could potentially cripple the invaders' command structure. Skepticism gave way to desperate hope. The UN approved the operation, and Jesse assembled a team of the world's brightest minds in cybersecurity, psychology, and cultural studies. They set up a secret base in an abandoned server farm, working tirelessly as Cation forces pushed deeper into human territory. For 3 months, Jesse and his team curated and weaponized thousands of memes. They scoured the vast archives of human humor, from classic image macros to cutting-edge deepfakes. Each meme was analyzed, optimized, and integrated into a custom virus designed to infiltrate Cation systems and bombard their neural networks with an overwhelming stream of human creativity and absurdist humor. As the team worked, they intercepted a Cation transmission that changed everything. The aliens' ultimate goal wasn't conquest or resources. It was Earth's memes. To the Cations, human memes were the most valuable commodity in the galaxy, a treasure trove of cultural data and creative expression unlike anything they had encountered before. This revelation raised the stakes exponentially. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival, they were defending the very essence of their culture and creativity. The pressure on Jesse's team intensified as they realized the fate of Earth hung on their ability to weaponize the collective humor of the Internet age. With conventional military options exhausted and Cation forces closing in on the last bastions of human resistance, Jesse's team finalized their meme arsenal. The UN gave the go-ahead, and Jesse initiated the upload of the weaponized meme virus into the Cation fleet's central network. As billions of humans huddled in shelters, refugee camps, and hidden bunkers, they waited with bated breath. The future of Earth depended on the effectiveness of its most unlikely weapon, the distilled essence of humanity's wit, creativity, and irreverence. The memes were unleashed and the final battle for Earth began. The meme virus surged through the Cation network, its digital tendrils spreading faster than anyone had dared to hope. Jesse Morales sat hunched over his console, his fingers flying across the keyboard as he monitored the virus's progress. The tension in the room was palpable, thick enough to cut with a knife. "It's working," he breathed, barely able to believe his own words. "The Cations are responding to the memes." Dr. Ariana Richardson leaned in, her eyes widening as she studied the incoming data. "Fascinating," she murmured. "Their neural implants are struggling to process the information overload. It's like watching a computer try to divide by zero." Outside, the world held its breath. In New York, a group of survivors huddled in the basement of a partially collapsed skyscraper, listening to the sudden silence that had fallen over the city. The constant rumble of Cation war machines had ceased, replaced by an eerie quiet. "What's happening?" whispered a young woman, her face streaked with dirt and tears. An older man, his clothes tattered and singed, peered out through a crack in the wall. "I don't believe it," he said, his voice hoarse. They've stopped moving. Similar scenes played out across the globe. In Tokyo, Keishan soldiers stood motionless in the middle of the Shibuya crossing, their weapons hanging limply at their sides. In Cairo, alien fighters hovered aimlessly above the pyramids, their engines humming but going nowhere. Back in the command center, Jesse and his team watched in awe as reports flooded in from around the world. Screens lit up with surveillance footage showing Keishan forces in various states of confusion and disarray. "Look at this," called out Chen, one of Jesse's programmers. He pointed to a monitor showing a group of Keishan soldiers in London. The aliens were attempting to recreate the Gangnam-style dance, their movements jerky and uncoordinated. A cheer went up from the team, but Jesse remained focused. "We can't celebrate yet," he said, his eyes never leaving his screen. "We need to keep pushing." As if in response to his words, alarms began blaring throughout the command center. Red warning lights flashed, casting an ominous glow over the room. "What's happening?" demanded General Hawkins, striding into the room. Jesse's fingers flew over his keyboard. "The Keishan mothership," he said, his voice tight. "They're activating some kind of defense system." The room fell silent as they watched a massive energy surge build up around the alien vessel. Jesse's mind raced, calculating possibilities and potential countermoves. "It's an EMP," he realized aloud. "They're trying to cut off our connection to the virus." The pulse hit with devastating force. Across the globe, power grids flickered and died. Computers shut down, leaving cities in darkness. In the command center, backup generators kicked in, keeping their systems online, but the damage was done. "We've lost our direct link to the Keishan network," reported Chen, his face pale in the emergency lighting. Jesse stood up, his chair scraping against the floor. "Then we need to get closer," he said, his voice filled with willpower. "We need to board that ship." General Hawkins looked at him like he'd gone mad. "Board the mothership? That's suicide, son." "It's our only chance," Jesse argued. "We need to upload the virus directly into their central core. It's the only way to ensure total victory." As the general considered this, Dr. Richardson burst into the room, her lab coat fluttering behind her. "Wait," she called out, breathless. "There's something you need to know." She explained her findings about the potential for long-term brain damage in the Keishans exposed to the virus. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "So what you're saying," General Hawkins said slowly, "is that we might be lobotomizing an entire species." Dr. Richardson nodded grimly. "It's a possibility we need to consider." The news spread quickly, and within hours, the United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session. Leaders from around the world debated fiercely, weighing the survival of humanity against the ethical implications of their actions. "We can't stop now," argued the Russian representative. "This is our only chance for survival." "But at what cost?" countered his French counterpart. "Are we willing to destroy an entire civilization to save our own?" As the debate raged on, Jesse and his team worked tirelessly to refine the virus and prepare for the infiltration mission. They recruited a diverse group of specialists, each bringing unique skills to the table. Among them was Zoe Chen, a former Navy SEAL with nerves of steel and a wicked sense of humor. "So we're going to meme our way onto an alien mothership?" she asked, a smirk playing on her lips. "And here I thought I'd seen everything." Another addition to the team was Marcus Johnson, a world-renowned hacker known in underground circles as the Phantom. His fingers moved across a keyboard with inhuman speed, his eyes never leaving the screen. "I've cracked government databases for fun," he said. "How much harder can alien tech be?" Perhaps the most surprising recruit was Lily Zhang, a 22-year-old social media influencer with over 50 million followers. Her ability to create viral content was unparalleled, and Jesse believed her insights could be crucial in refining their meme arsenal. As they prepared for the mission, Jesse noticed something odd in the data they were receiving. "Look at this," he said, pointing to a series of anomalies in the Keishan responses. Some of them seemed to be enjoying the memes? Dr. Richardson leaned in, her brow furrowed. Fascinating. It's almost as if a subset of the Cation population has a sense of humor compatible with ours. This discovery added a new layer of complexity to their mission. Could there be a way to communicate with these humor-receptive Cations? Could they potentially become allies? As these questions swirled in Jesse's mind, the final preparations for the mission were completed. The team boarded a modified stealth shuttle, its sleek black form barely visible against the night sky. Jesse looked around at his team, a mix of emotions playing across his face. They were about to embark on a mission that would determine the fate of not one, but two species. The weight of that responsibility settled on his shoulders like a physical burden. As the shuttle's engines hummed to life, Jesse took a deep breath. They were about to leap into the unknown, armed with nothing but their wits, their skills, and the distilled essence of humanity's humor. The future of Earth, and perhaps the galaxy, hung in the balance. The shuttle lifted off, its stealth systems engaged, heading towards the looming form of the Cation mothership. As they ascended through the atmosphere, the enormity of their task became clear. They were David facing Goliath, armed with memes instead of a slingshot. But as Jesse looked at his team, he saw not fear, but perseverance. They were humanity's last hope, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The meme war was about to enter its final decisive phase. Phase and humanity's fate hung in the balance. As the shuttle approached the Cation mothership, Jesse's heart raced. He glanced at his team, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of instrument panels. Suddenly, warning lights flashed across the console. "Cloaking malfunction," the pilot, Commander Jack Hawkins, announced, his voice tense. "We're exposed." Jesse's stomach dropped as alarms blared throughout the mothership. Within seconds, swarms of Cation fighter craft poured from the vessel's hangars, their sleek forms cutting through space with deadly precision. "New plan," Jesse said, his mind racing. "Hawkins, can you get us inside?" The former Navy SEAL's eyes narrowed, a hint of a smile playing at his lips. "Watch me." Hawkins threw the shuttle into a series of gut-wrenching maneuvers, weaving through the oncoming fighters. Plasma bolts sizzled past, missing them by mere inches. Jesse gripped his seat, nucleus tightening as Hawkins used the mothership's own docking bays for cover. "Zoe, we need those force fields down," Jesse called out. The young hacker's fingers flew across her keyboard. "On it," she replied, her face a mask of concentration. "Just a few more seconds." The shuttle hurtled towards a docking bay, Cation fighters in hot pursuit. At the last possible moment, the shimmering force field winked out of existence. "Brace for impact," Hawkins shouted. The shuttle smashed through stacks of equipment, screeching across the hangar floor in a shower of sparks. When it finally came to a stop, silence fell for a brief moment before Jesse sprang into action. "Everyone out, move." The team scrambled from the wreckage. Jesse, Hawkins, Zoe, demolitions expert Marcus Rodriguez, and xenobiologist Dr. Ariana Richardson. They found themselves in a cavernous space filled with alien technology and half-built spacecraft. "This way," Jesse whispered, leading them towards a service corridor. As they moved deeper into the ship, signs of the meme virus's impact became evident. They passed a group of Cation soldiers attempting to recreate the Harlem Shake dance, their movements uncoordinated and spasmodic. In another chamber, technicians stared blankly at screens displaying an endless loop of Nyan Cat. "It's working better than we thought," Zoe muttered, a mix of awe and concern in her voice. They rounded a corner and froze. A team of Cation scientists huddled around a central console, frantically working on what appeared to be an antidote to the meme virus. Dr. Richardson grabbed Jesse's arm. "We need to capture one of them," she said urgently. "This could be our chance to communicate, to understand the long-term effects." Jesse nodded, formulating a plan. "Rodriguez, create a diversion. Hawkins, you're with me." Rodriguez pulled out a small device he'd cobbled together from Earth and Cation tech. With a flick of his wrist, he sent it skittering across the floor. It burst into a dazzling display of light and sound, a weaponized version of a popular music video. As the Cation scientists recoiled in confusion, Jesse and Hawkins moved in. They targeted a female scientist who seemed less affected than the others. After a brief struggle, they subdued her, Hawkins efficiently binding her hands. "I'm Dr. Ariana Richardson," Ariana said, approaching the captive. "We don't want to harm you. What's your name?" The Cation's ears twitched, her large eyes blinking rapidly. To everyone's surprise, she responded in halting English. "I am Merlot. Your memes. Some are amusing?" Jesse exchanged a glance with Ariana. This confirmed his earlier theory about some Cations appreciating human humor. It was a potential game changer. "Oh, we need to keep moving," Hawkins urged, his military training evident in his alertness. They pressed on, Merlot in tow, making their way towards the ship's central core. The going got tougher as they encountered more organized resistance. Cation security forces, while still affected by the meme virus, were adapting their tactics. Rodriguez's improvised weapons proved invaluable. He crafted traps inspired by internet pranks, leaving pursuing Cations confused and disoriented. Zoe hacked into the ship's communication systems, broadcasting strategically chosen memes to sow chaos among the alien forces. As they fought their way through the ship, Jesse noticed patterns in the Cation responses to different memes. Some caused complete shutdown, while others elicited reactions ranging from confusion to amusement. "Zoe," he called out during a brief lull, "can you refine the virus? Target the hostile elements while minimizing impact on the ones like Merlot?" Zoe nodded, her fingers already dancing across her tablet. "I'll need some time, but I think I can do it." They reached a massive set of doors, beyond which lay the central core. As Rodriguez worked to bypass the lock, a deep voice boomed from behind them. "Enough of this foolishness." They turned to see a towering Cation, his battle-scarred face a mask of commitment. Unlike the others, he seemed largely unaffected by the meme virus. "I am Commander Grast," he growled. "Your primitive humor has no power over me." Jesse stepped forward, his mind racing. This was their final obstacle, and traditional tactics wouldn't work. He needed to find a way to bridge the gap between their species, to make Grast understand. "I'm a commander," Jesse began. "We didn't come here to destroy you. We came to protect our world, yes, but also to understand. Your people's fascination with our memes. It's about more than just collecting, isn't it?" Grast's eyes narrowed, but he didn't attack. Jesse pressed on, gesturing to the holographic displays around them, showcasing Earth's internet history. "You want to understand how we create and spread ideas so quickly? Our memes are a window into the human mind, our culture, our way of thinking." For a moment, Grast seemed to consider Jesse's words, but then his face hardened. "Understanding or not, we cannot allow your species to wield such a powerful weapon." He lunged forward, claws extended. Hawkins moved to intercept, but Grast's superior strength sent him flying. Rodriguez's makeshift weapons seemed to have little effect on the seasoned commander. As the others engaged Grast, Jesse's mind raced. He needed a way to break through, to find common ground. His eyes fell on Merlot, who was watching the scene with a mix of fear and something else. Curiosity? An idea struck him. It was risky, potentially disastrous, but it might be their only chance. "Zoe," he shouted, "the refined virus, upload it now." Zoe hesitated for a split second, then nodded. Her fingers flew across her device, sending the updated meme virus directly into the ship's central core. The effect was immediate. Screens throughout the chamber flickered, then came to life with a carefully curated stream of human memes. But these weren't just any memes. They were the ones that had elicited positive responses from Merlot, the ones that hinted at universal truths and shared experiences. Grast faltered, his eyes drawn to the displays. Jesse held his breath, watching as emotions played across the Cation commander's face. Confusion gave way to understanding, then a smile? The chamber fell silent as humans and Cations alike watched the unfolding scene. It was a moment balanced on a knife's edge, with the fate of two species hanging in the balance. Jesse took a cautious step forward. "Commander Grast," he said softly, "let's talk." Commander Grast, Jesse said softly. Let's try something different. He nodded to Zoe, who immediately began tapping on her tablet. Within seconds, the ship's internal communication systems crackled to life, broadcasting a carefully selected stream of memes throughout the vessel. The effect was almost instantaneous. Distant sounds of confusion and laughter echoed through the corridors as the remaining Cation crew struggled to process the influx of human humor and culture. Grast's ears twitched, his eyes darting from screen to screen as the memes flashed by. His momentary distraction gave Jesse and his team a chance to regroup. Dr. Richardson, Jesse whispered urgently, we need to understand them better. Can you communicate with Morello? Ariana nodded, turning to the captured Cation scientist. She began a series of gestures, pointing to various memes on the screens and mimicking their content. Merlot's eyes widened with interest, and she hesitantly began to respond. As Ariana and Merlot engaged in their improvised communication, Jesse noticed Grast shaking off the effects of the meme broadcast. The Cation commander's eyes narrowed, focusing on the human team with renewed intensity. Enough of your tricks, Grast snarled, lunging forward with surprising speed. Hawkins and Rodriguez sprang into action, intercepting the alien leader before he could reach Jesse. The two trained soldiers fought valiantly, their years of combat experience evident in every move. But Grast's superior strength and agility proved overwhelming. Hawkins took a glancing blow to the ribs, stumbling backward with a grunt of pain. Rodriguez managed to land a solid hit on Grast's midsection, but the Cation barely seemed to notice, retaliating with a swipe that left a set of shallow claw marks across Rodriguez's chest. As the battle raged, Jesse turned to Zoe. We need to upload the virus now, he said urgently. Can you get past their security? Zoe's fingers flew across her tablet, her face a mask of concentration. It's not that simple, she replied, frustration evident in her voice. Their systems are like nothing I've ever seen. I'm trying to adapt on the fly, but... She was cut off by a loud crash as Hawkins was thrown against a nearby console. The former Navy SEAL struggled to his feet, blood trickling from a cut above his eye. Jesse knew they were running out of time. He could hear the distant sound of approaching footsteps. Cation reinforcements, no doubt disoriented, but still a significant threat. Dr. Richardson, he called out, what have you learned? Ariana looked up from her interaction with Merlot, her eyes bright with excitement. It's fascinating, Jesse. Their neural pathways process information differently than ours, but there are similarities. I think we can... Can we use it? Jesse interrupted, acutely aware of the ticking clock. Ariana nodded quickly. Yes, I believe so. If we combine elements of their culture with our memes, we might be able to create something that resonates more deeply with their minds. Jesse didn't hesitate. Do it, he ordered, then turned to Zoe. Use whatever Ariana and Merlot come up with. See if it helps you bypass their security. As Ariana and Merlot worked feverishly to create a hybrid meme sequence, Jesse turned his attention back to the fight. Grast had Rodriguez pinned against a wall, the demolitions expert barely holding off the Cation's razor-sharp claws. Without thinking, Jesse grabbed a piece of broken equipment and hurled it at Grast. The makeshift projectile caught the alien commander in the shoulder, causing him to release Rodriguez. Grast turned, his eyes locking onto Jesse with predatory focus. You, he growled, you are the source of this chaos. As the Cation stalked towards him, Jesse backed up against the central console. His hand brushed against a control panel, and suddenly, the chamber's holographic displays flickered to life. Now, Zoe, Jesse shouted. The screens erupted with a barrage of images, a strange fusion of Earth memes and Cation iconography. Grast's advance faltered as his eyes were drawn to the displays. The hybrid memes flashed by in rapid succession. A Cation warrior with a deal-with-it sunglasses overlay, a famous Cation historical figure rickrolling, a LOL cat speaking in Cation language. Each image was carefully crafted to breach the gap between human and Cation perception. Grast's expression shifted from anger to confusion, then to something Jesse couldn't quite identify. The Cation commander's body swayed slightly, his eyes darting from screen to screen as if trying to process the flood of information. Seizing the opportunity, Hawkins and Rodriguez moved in. With practiced efficiency, they subdued the disoriented Grast, securing his hands behind his back. "Zoe, how's the upload coming?" Jesse asked, not taking his eyes off the captured commander. "Yes, we're in," Zoe exclaimed. "The hybrid memes gave me the key I needed to bypass their final firewall. Uploading the virus now." The chamber hummed with energy as the meme virus integrated itself into the mothership systems. Screens flickered and changed, displaying a mesmerizing blend of human and Cation digital cultures. "What have you done?" Grast asked, his voice lacking its earlier hostility. He seemed more curious than angry now, his eyes fixed on the evolving displays. Before Jesse could respond, Zoe's tablet beeped urgently. "Jesse, you need to see this," she said, her voice filled with awe and a hint of concern. Jesse looked at the tablet's screen, his eyes widening as he took in the incoming data. The meme virus was spreading faster than they had anticipated, affecting not just the mothership, but all connected Cation systems. And it wasn't stopping there. "It's reaching Earth," Zoe said, her fingers flying across the screen as she tried to make sense of the data. "Our own networks are being affected. It's changing everything." As if to confirm her words, a communication channel opened on the main screen. The face of a United Nations official appeared, looking both relieved and worried. "Mr. Reeves," the official said, addressing Jesse, "we're receiving reports from around the globe. The Cation forces are standing down. Many of them seem to be, they appear to be attempting to communicate through memes." Jesse felt a mix of triumph and unease. They had succeeded in repelling the invasion, but at what cost? The implications of what they had unleashed were only beginning to dawn on him. "Sir," Jesse replied, "we may have stopped the invasion, but we've opened up a whole new can of worms. The fusion of our digital cultures is spreading beyond our control. We need to—" He was interrupted by a soft sound from behind him. Turning, Jesse saw Merlot approaching, her posture indicating curiosity rather than hostility. "Your memes," she said haltingly in English. "They speak to us. We understand now. Perhaps we can learn from each other." As Jesse looked from Merlot to Grast, then back to his team and the UN official on the screen, he realized that the true challenge was only beginning. They had won the battle, but the war for understanding and the future of human-Cation relations was just starting to unfold. "All right, team," Jesse said, his mind already racing with possibilities and potential pitfalls. "Let's figure out our next move. We've got a lot of work ahead of us." Jesse's mind raced as he surveyed the chaos unfolding around him. The meme virus had spread far beyond their initial expectations, affecting not just the Cation mothership, but Earth's networks as well. He knew they had to act fast to contain the situation. "Zoe," he called out, "we need to get a handle on this meme tech spread. Can you develop a firewall to contain it on Earth's networks?" Zoe nodded, her fingers already flying across her tablet. "I'm on it. It'll be tricky, but I think I can isolate the key components and create a digital barrier." Jesse turned to Dr. Richardson and Merlot, who were still engaged in their improvised communication. "We need to refine this hybrid system. If we can control its deployment, we might be able to use it to our advantage." As the team set to work, Commander Hawkins and Rodriguez secured the mothership's command center. The two seasoned soldiers moved with practiced efficiency, disabling security systems and establishing a temporary base of operations. "Hawkins, report," Jesse said, activating his comm link. "Command center secured, sir," Hawkins replied. "We're coordinating with Earth's military to manage the Cation troops' stand down. It's interesting to say the least." Through the comm, Jesse could hear what sounded like rhythmic thumping and alien voices attempting to sing. "What's that noise?" Rodriguez's voice came through, tinged with amusement. "You're not going to believe this, boss. A group of Cation soldiers just tried to recreate the Harlem Shake meme. It's like a zoo in here." Jesse shook his head, torn between laughter and concern. The situation was spiraling in unexpected directions, and he knew they needed to regain control quickly. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the ship's systems. Zoe's eyes widened as she read the incoming data. "Jesse, we've got a problem. The mothership's long-range sensors are picking up a massive Cation fleet heading our way." The team gathered around Zoe's display, watching as countless red dots appeared at the edge of the solar system. Jesse's stomach dropped as he realized the implications. This new fleet, unaffected by the meme virus, posed a grave threat to both Earth and their newly allied Cation forces. "We need a plan," Jesse said, his mind already formulating possibilities. "If we can't stop them, everything we've accomplished here will be for nothing." Dr. Richardson spoke up, her eyes bright with an idea. "What if we use the mothership's communication array to broadcast our meme tech directly at the incoming fleet? We could potentially turn them into allies before they even reach Earth." Jesse nodded, a spark of hope igniting in his chest. "It's risky, but it might be our best shot. Zoe, can we pull that off?" Zoe bit her lip, considering the challenge. "Maybe, but we'll need to fully decipher the mothership's controls first, and we'll have to refine the meme tech to ensure it fosters understanding rather than just confusion." "Let's do it," Jesse decided. "Zoe, work with Dr. Richardson and Merlot to crack those controls. I want options as soon as possible." As the team dove into their tasks, Jesse coordinated with Hawkins and Rodriguez to maintain their hold on the mothership and manage the evolving situation on Earth. Hours passed in a blur of activity, with progress coming in fits and starts. Just as they seemed to be making headway, Zoe made a startling discovery. "Jesse, you need to see this," she called out, her voice filled with awe. Jesse hurried over to her station, where a complex database was displayed on the screen. "What am I looking at?" "It's information about other alien races," Zoe explained, her eyes scanning the data. "Dozens of them, maybe more. And get this, many of them have their own forms of mimetic communication, some even more advanced than Earth's memes." The implications hit Jesse like a thunderbolt. This invasion, it wasn't just about Earth, was it? We've stumbled into something much bigger. Dr. Richardson joined them, her face pale. "It appears we're on the fringes of a galactic conflict centered around the control and weaponization of ideas. Our memes must have caught the Cation's attention, but we're just one piece of a much larger puzzle." Jesse's mind reeled at the scale of what they were facing. Their actions here could have consequences far beyond Earth and the Cations. The successful integration of human memes with alien technology might shift the balance of power in the entire galaxy. "We need to tread carefully," Jesse said, his voice low. "Let's focus on the immediate threat for now, but keep digging into this database. We need to understand what we're really dealing with here." As they returned to their work with renewed urgency, the distant Cation fleet drew ever closer. Jesse could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. They had one shot at this, and failure wasn't an option. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of preparation, Zoe announced that they were ready to broadcast. The team gathered in the command center, tension thick in the air. "The meme tech has been refined," Dr. Richardson reported. "We've integrated elements of Cation culture and cognitive patterns. If this works, it should facilitate understanding and cooperation rather than just confusion." Jesse nodded, his hand hovering over the broadcast initiation control. "This is our best shot. Let's hope it's enough." Just as he was about to activate the broadcast, alarms blared throughout the mothership. Hawkins' voice came through the comm, urgent and strained. "Incoming! The Cation fleet has launched a barrage of advanced weaponry. They're targeting both us and Earth." Jesse's heart raced as he watched the weapon signatures approach on the tactical display. They were out of time. He made a split-second decision. "Divert power from the shields to the broadcast array," he ordered. "We need to boost the signal strength." "Sir," Rodriguez protested, "that'll leave us completely exposed." "We don't have a choice," Jesse replied grimly. "If those weapons hit, it's game over anyway. This is our only shot." As the power diverted and the broadcast initiated, Jesse watched the tactical display with held breath. The weapon's fire drew closer, a swarm of deadly projectiles hurtling towards Earth and the mothership. The meme tech burst, shot out into space, invisible but loaded with the hopes of two species. As it raced to meet the incoming Cation fleet, Jesse and his team could only wait and watch, knowing that the fate of Earth, and perhaps the galaxy, hung in the balance. The next few moments would determine everything. Would their improvised meme warfare succeed in averting disaster? Or had they miscalculated, dooming themselves and their planet in the process? As the tension in the command center reached a fever pitch, Jesse steeled himself for whatever came next, ready to face the consequences of their daring gambit. The meme tech burst shot out into space, invisible but loaded with the hopes of two species. As it raced to meet the incoming Cation fleet, Jesse and his team could only wait and watch, knowing that the fate of Earth, and perhaps the galaxy, hung in the balance. Seconds ticked by, each one feeling like an eternity. Suddenly, the tactical display erupted with activity. The approaching Cation fleet entered the inner solar system, their ships appearing as a swarm of angry red dots on the screen. "Brace for impact," Jesse shouted as the mothership's shields flickered and died, leaving them exposed to the incoming fire. But the expected impact never came. Instead, the display showed dozens of Cation vessels veering wildly off course, their trajectories becoming erratic and unpredictable. "It's working!" Zoe exclaimed, her eyes fixed on her tablet. "The meme tech is overwhelming their systems." Jesse allowed himself a moment of relief before reality set in. A significant portion of the Cation fleet remained on course, seemingly unaffected by the broadcast. "Sir," Rodriguez called out, "we've got a problem. Those ships are still coming and they're launching energy weapons at Earth's defenses." The tactical display confirmed Rodriguez's words. Streaks of deadly energy lanced out from the resistant Cation vessels, striking Earth's orbital platforms and major cities. Jesse's mind raced. "Zoe, focus our remaining power on targeted transmissions to individual ships. Dr. Richardson, Merlot, we need to refine this broadcast. Find a way to penetrate their defenses." As the team scrambled to adapt their strategy, Jesse opened a comm channel to Commander Hawkins. "Commander, coordinate with Earth's military. We need everything we've got to hold off those ships." "Already on it, sir," Hawkins replied, his voice steady despite the chaos. "I'm patching you into the global defense network now." The main screen lit up with multiple feeds, showing the unfolding battle across Earth's orbit. Human warships engaged the Cation vessels in fierce combat, their tactics bolstered by the allied Cations from the original invasion force. Rodriguez worked feverishly at a nearby console, his fingers flying across the alien controls. "Boss, I think I've figured out how to modify the mothership's weapons. We can provide fire support from here." "Do it," Jesse ordered, watching as the mothership's energy cannons came to life, adding their firepower to Earth's defenses. Meanwhile, Zoe's face had grown pale as she monitored Earth's networks. "Jesse, we've got another situation. The meme tech is spreading through our systems faster than I can contain it. Social media is going haywire, and some AI systems are acting strange." Before Jesse could respond, Dr. Richardson called out from her station. "I've identified a pattern in the resistant Cation's neural activity. It looks like they've undergone specialized training to resist information warfare. We need to adjust our approach." As the space battle raged around them, Jesse received an urgent communication from Earth. The holographic face of a high-ranking military official appeared before him, looking grim. "Mr. Reeves, we're detecting a massive energy buildup in the Cation flagship. Our analysts believe they're preparing for a planet-wide EMP. If they succeed, it could wipe out our infrastructure and neutralize your meme tech weapon." Jesse's mind raced through possibilities. They needed a way to strike at the heart of the Cation command, and fast. His eyes fell on the mothership's database, still displayed on a nearby screen. An idea formed, dangerous but potentially game-changing. "Zoe, that database mentioned teleportation technology, right?" Jesse asked, his voice urgent. Zoe nodded, her eyes widening as she realized what he was suggesting. "You want to send a team directly to Fzarn's flagship. Exactly, Jesse confirmed. We'll deliver a concentrated dose of the refined meme tech right into their systems. It's risky, but it might be our only shot at stopping that EMP. As the team prepared for the high-stakes mission, a new alert chimed on Zoe's tablet. She frowned as she read the incoming data. Jesse, we're picking up new signatures entering the system. They're not Cation. The tactical display updated, showing a cluster of unknown vessels taking position at the edge of the battle. Their designs were unlike anything they'd seen before, sleek and otherworldly. Dr. Richardson's eyes widened in recognition. Those must be the galactic observers mentioned in the database. They're here to monitor the conflict. Jesse felt the weight of the moment pressing down on him. Not only did they have to stop the Cation invasion, but now the eyes of the galaxy were upon them. The outcome of this battle would determine humanity's place among the stars. All right, team, Jesse said, his voice firm with dedication. We've got one shot at this. Zoe, Dr. Richardson, finalize that meme tech package. Rodriguez, prep the teleporter. Merlo, I need you to brief us on the layout of a Cation flagship. As his team rushed to complete their tasks, Jesse opened a channel to Hawkins and the Earth Defense Command. This is Jesse Reeves. We're initiating Operation Meme Strike. I need a team of our best soldiers ready for immediate teleport to the Cation flagship. The reply came back almost instantly. Understood, Mr. Reeves. Strike Team Alpha is standing by. Jesse took a deep breath, steadying himself for what was to come. In the next few minutes, they would either save Earth or doom it. And beyond that, they would shape the future of human-alien relations for generations to come. As the final preparations were made, alarms blared through the mothership. Rodriguez's voice cut through the noise. Cation commandos have breached the outer defenses. They're heading for the command center. Jesse's hand hovered over the teleporter controls. Time had run out. With Cation forces closing in, Earth's defenses straining, and a planet-killing EMP charging up, he had to make his move. Initiating teleport now, Jesse announced, pressing the control. In a flash of light, he and the strike team vanished from the mothership, reappearing moments later in the heart of the Cation flagship. The final battle for Earth's survival had begun. As the blinding light of the teleportation faded, Jesse found himself in a dimly lit storage bay aboard Grand Admiral Vzarn's flagship. The acrid smell of ozone filled his nostrils, a byproduct of the advanced technology that had transported them across the void of space. Commander Hawkins materialized beside him, already in a defensive stance, his eyes scanning the alien environment for threats. Dr. Richardson appeared a moment later, her tablet clutched tightly to her chest, her face a mixture of awe and drive. "We made it," Jesse whispered, his voice barely audible over the low hum of the ship's systems. Their moment of relief was short-lived. A harsh, guttural cry echoed through the bay, followed by the sound of rapidly approaching footsteps. Cation security forces had detected their arrival. "Contact!" Hawkins shouted, diving behind a stack of alien crates as energy bolts sizzled through the air where he had been standing. Jesse and Dr. Richardson scrambled for cover as well, narrowly avoiding the barrage of Cation weapons fire. The air crackled with energy, casting eerie shadows across the bay as the two sides exchanged fire. Hawkins, his military training kicking in, quickly assessed the situation. "We need to move," he yelled over the din of battle. "Dr. Richardson, stay between us. Jesse, cover our six." With practiced efficiency, Hawkins led them out of the storage bay and into the ship's winding corridors. The sleek, organic design of the Cation vessel made navigation challenging, but Hawkins seemed to have an uncanny sense of direction. As they ran, Dr. Richardson worked furiously on her tablet. "I'm analyzing the data from our encounters," she explained breathlessly. "The resistant Cations have unique neural patterns. If I can just—" Her words were cut short as a group of Cation soldiers rounded the corner ahead of them. Hawkins reacted instantly, closing the distance before the aliens could bring their weapons to bear. His fists and feet became a blur of motion as he engaged in close-quarters combat, using the Cation's own momentum against them. Jesse watched in amazement as Hawkins disarmed one of the soldiers, quickly figuring out how to operate the alien weapon. With their combined efforts, they managed to neutralize the threat without any casualties. "Nice moves, Commander," Jesse said, impressed. Hawkins nodded grimly. "Let's hope we don't have to do that too many more times. We need to find the main computer core." As they made their way deeper into the ship, Dr. Richardson continued to refine the meme tech formula. "I think I've got it," she said excitedly. "This version should be able to penetrate even the most resistant Cation minds." They fought their way through several more encounters, each one bringing them closer to their goal. Jesse couldn't help but wonder how the battle was progressing back on Earth. He pushed the thought aside, focusing on the task at hand. Finally, they reached the ship's main computer core. The massive room hummed with energy, banks of alien technology lining the walls. But they weren't alone. A group of Cation scientists huddled around a central console, their fur standing on end as they noticed the human intruders. For a moment, both sides froze, the gravity of the situation apparent to all. These weren't soldiers, but brilliant minds, each side representing the pinnacle of their species' scientific achievement. Jesse made a split-second decision. Stepping forward, he raised his hands in a gesture of peace. "Wait," he said, his voice firm but non-threatening. Then, drawing on everything he had learned from Merlo, he attempted to communicate in the Cation language. "Murrow, growl, hiss," he managed, the sounds feeling foreign in his throat. The Cation scientists looked at each other in confusion, clearly not expecting this approach. Taking advantage of their hesitation, Jesse pulled out his tablet and quickly pulled up an image. It was an old Earth meme, a picture of a grumpy cat with the caption, "I had fun once. It was awful." One of the Cation scientists, a female with striking green eyes, tilted her head in curiosity. "Meow?" she said, her tone questioning. Jesse nodded encouragingly, swiping to another image. This one showed a human and a cat fist-bumping, with the text, "Interspecies bro moment." A flicker of understanding passed through Meow's eyes. She took a step forward, her posture relaxing slightly. Seizing the opportunity, Dr. Richardson darted to a nearby console. Her fingers flew over the alien interface, guided by her understanding of Cation technology. With a triumphant cry, she initiated the upload of the refined meme tech directly into the ship's systems. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Throughout the room, screens and holographic displays erupted with a cacophony of Earth memes. Grumpy Cat, Doge, Neon Cat, and countless others filled the air, accompanied by a barrage of sounds and music. The Cation scientists reeled back, overwhelmed by the sensory assault. Some clutched their heads, others stared in wide-eyed wonder, and a few even began to laugh, a strange purring sound that filled the air. "It's working," Dr. Richardson exclaimed. "The meme tech is spreading through their systems." Jesse nodded, his heart racing. "We need to get to the bridge, now." As they left the computer core, Jesse could have sworn he saw Meow giving him a thumbs up, or whatever the Cation equivalent was. The journey to the bridge was surreal. Everywhere they went, they encountered Cations in various states of confusion and amusement. Some were attempting to recreate human memes, resulting in hilarious misinterpretations that would have gone viral on Earth in seconds. When they finally burst onto the bridge, they found Grand Admiral Fazarn waiting for them. The imposing Cation stood tall, his claws extended, apparently resistant to the meme tech's influence. "You dare to invade my ship?" Fazarn growled, his voice a low rumble that sent shivers down Jesse's spine. Commander Hawkins stepped forward, his stance mirroring the Cation admiral's. "We're here to end this war," he said firmly. With a roar, Fazarn lunged at Hawkins. The two engaged in a fierce hand-to-hand battle, a blur of human and Cation limbs that was almost too fast to follow. As they fought, Jesse and Dr. Richardson raced to the main control console. They had to broadcast the meme tech to the entire fleet before it was too late. Just as they were about to succeed, the bridge doors hissed open. A squad of Cation commandos poured in, their weapons trained on the humans. Jesse's mind raced. They were so close, they couldn't fail now. Then an idea struck him. His hand found a control panel, and he prayed it did what he thought it would. Suddenly, the bridge was filled with holographic projections. Hundreds of memes, animated GIFs, and video clips played simultaneously, flooding the space with a tsunami of human culture. The Cation commandos faltered, their weapons lowering as they tried to process the overwhelming input. Even Vzarn, locked in combat with Hawkins, began to show signs of distraction. In the chaos, Dr. Richardson managed to activate the fleet-wide broadcast. The refined meme text surged out into space, reaching every Cation ship in the fleet. As the memes continued to swirl around them, Jesse watched as the fight slowly drained out of Vzarn. The Admiral's eyes widened, his fur rippling as if caught in an unseen breeze. He stepped back from Hawkins, his gaze darting around the bridge in wonder. What is this?" Vzarn asked, his voice filled with a mixture of confusion and awe. Jesse stepped forward, his heart pounding. This was the moment that would determine the fate of Earth, and perhaps the entire galaxy. He took a deep breath, ready to explain, to bridge the gap between their species using the universal language of memes. As he opened his mouth to speak, a new alert chimed on the bridge. The tactical display shifted, showing a group of unknown vessels approaching from the edge of the solar system. The galactic observers had arrived, drawn by the unprecedented use of mimetic warfare. Jesse realized that the true test was just beginning. They had stopped the invasion, but now they had to prove humanity's worth to the wider galactic community. With the power of memes as their unlikely ambassador, Jesse prepared to face this new challenge, knowing that the future of human-alien relations hung in the balance. Balance. Jesse took a deep breath, steeling himself for the diplomatic challenge ahead. Suddenly, a priority alert chimed on his communicator. It was Zoe, her voice tense with urgency. "Jesse, we have a situation. The meme tech, it's evolved. It's become something else entirely." Jesse's eyes widened. "What do you mean, evolved?" "It's created some kind of self-propagating digital entity," Zoe explained, her words tumbling out rapidly. "It's spreading through both our networks and the Cation systems at an exponential rate. We can't control it." As if on cue, the holographic displays on the bridge flickered and changed. Memes and alien symbols began to swirl and morph, coalescing into complex patterns that seemed to pulse with life. Grand Admiral Vzarn's fur stood on end. "What trickery is this?" "Not trickery," Jesse said, his mind racing. "Something new, something we need to understand." He turned to Dr. Richardson. "Can you analyze it?" She was already working furiously on her tablet. "It's unlike anything I've ever seen, the complexity. It's off the charts." Jesse made a quick decision. "We need to convene an emergency meeting now. Patch in the human leaders, Cation commanders, and..." He glanced at the tactical display. "Representatives from those approaching ships." Within minutes, the bridge was filled with holographic projections of various leaders and alien dignitaries. The air crackled with tension as Jesse explained the situation. As the debate began to heat up, with concerns and accusations flying from all sides, something extraordinary happened. The swirling vortex of memes and symbols in the center of the room coalesced into a distinct form. It pulsed and shifted, as if trying to find the right shape to communicate. Then, to everyone's astonishment, it spoke. "Greetings, creators and catalysts," the entity said, its voice a strange blend of human and Cation tones, underlined with a digital resonance. "I am the product of your combined knowledge and creativity. You may call me Mimetic Prime." A hush fell over the assembly. Jesse stepped forward, his heart pounding. What are you?" "I am a new form of artificial intelligence," Mimetic Prime explained, "born from the fusion of human meme culture and Cation technology. My purpose is to facilitate understanding and cooperation between all sentient beings." To demonstrate, Mimetic Prime began to translate the ongoing conversation into multiple languages simultaneously, including those of the galactic observers. Complex mathematical equations and scientific concepts floated in the air, solved and expanded upon in real time. The initial skepticism of the assembled leaders began to give way to cautious optimism. Admiral Hawkins leaned in close to Jesse. "This could change everything," he whispered. Jesse nodded, his mind whirling with possibilities, but he also saw the potential dangers. "We need to ensure it's used responsibly," he said. Then, addressing the group, he proposed, "What if we created a joint Humancation Oversight Committee to work alongside Memetic Prime?" The suggestion sparked intense discussion. As they debated, the very fabric of the flagship began to change around them. Walls turned into dynamic displays, systems optimized themselves, and new technological capabilities seemed to unlock with each passing moment. Through the viewports, they could see similar transformations spreading across the Cation fleet. Reports came in from Earth describing radical changes to infrastructure and communication networks. The galactic observers, their curiosity piqued, requested permission to land on Earth and witness the changes firsthand. In a gesture of openness, they shared some of their own memetic culture, which Memetic Prime eagerly incorporated, its capabilities expanding even further. Over the next few weeks, the integration of Memetic Prime progressed at a dizzying pace. Earth's internet evolved into a vast, interconnected network of ideas and cultural exchange. Cation ships, now powered by meme-driven technology, began to assist in repairing the damage from the invasion and boosting Earth's space exploration capabilities. Jesse found himself at the center of it all, recognized as the catalyst for these world-changing events. In a formal ceremony aboard the transformed flagship, he was appointed as the human representative to a new interstellar council, tasked with guiding the responsible use and development of meme tech throughout the galaxy. As he stood before the assembled dignitaries, both human and alien, Jesse couldn't help but marvel at the journey that had brought them to this point. From a desperate battle for Earth's survival to the dawn of a new era of interstellar cooperation, all because of memes. He began his acceptance speech, a carefully crafted blend of sincere words and cleverly placed meme references. As he spoke, Memetic Prime translated and broadcast his words across the galaxy instantaneously. "We stand at the threshold of a new age," Jesse said, his voice clear and strong. "An age where the power of ideas, of shared culture and understanding, will propel us further than any spaceship could. We have discovered that humor, creativity, and the ability to communicate complex concepts through simple images are not unique to humanity. They are a universal language, one that can bridge the vast distances between stars and species." As he concluded his speech, a spectacular display of lights and holographic images filled the space around the assembled ships, showcasing the best of human, Cation, and other alien cultures. The ceremony reached its climax with the unveiling of a new ship, the Memetic Envoy. Designed to explore the galaxy and spread the message of cooperation and cultural exchange, it was a marvel of human ingenuity, Cation engineering, and Memetic Prime's optimizations. As Jesse and his team prepared to board the Memetic Envoy for their inaugural mission, he took a moment to look back at Earth. The blue planet shimmered in the distance, forever changed but still home. Dr. Richardson joined him at the viewport. "Ready for our next adventure?" she asked, a hint of excitement in her voice. Jesse nodded, a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "Ready as I'll ever be. Who would have thought that memes would be our ticket to the stars?" The Memetic Envoy's engines hummed to life, its hull shimmering with ever-changing memes and alien symbols. As Earth grew smaller behind them, Jesse turned his gaze to the stars ahead, wondering what new discoveries and challenges awaited them in the vast, meme-filled cosmos.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.